just finished photographing a car and I've got a bit of extra time left at the end of the day, so I'm going to have a go at drawing it. I'll show you what the car is now. It's one of the Cunningham team's lightweight E-Types. Pretty special car. And it's going to be quite a tricky one to draw, partly because it's just mostly made up of curves. But, so I'm going to have to experiment a bit and sort of make a few guesses maybe, but I'll see how it goes. So I'm going to be using the iPad and the Adobe Fresco app, just because it's quite good for fast sketches and it gives me a bit of room just to move things around a bit, which I think I'm probably going to have to do. So I'll make a start. So the first thing I'm going to do is probably get the wheels in. I think if I get the wheels in the right place, the right distance apart, then hopefully I'll just be able to put all the blobby shapes kind of on top in roughly the right place. They'll only, having that framework of a few wheels will show me where they need to go. That's the plan. There's one straight line that runs between the centres of the wheels, the bottom edge of the door. I'm just checking how much of an angle there is. If that's horizontal, then I can see it's about that kind of angle, not very steep. And what I'll do is put the wheel on a separate layer. So I've just, by measuring with my pencil, I've checked how many, once I've measured that front wheel, how many more wheels I could fit along the length of the car. So 2 wheels takes me nicely to the edge of the back wheel. So on another new layer, I'll pop an ellipse there. Actually, I'll draw the ellipse properly with this. There's a ruler. That will give me a bit more freedom to kind of position it. As for an eye line, that would be quite useful. My eyes are about level with the bottom edge of the window, which is a bit higher than the wheel there. Somewhere around there. And somewhere on there will be my vanishing point, which I reckon is just beyond the nose of the car. It's probably just off the screen. I could move everything over a bit and then I'd have room to draw it, because it would be useful. So it will sit on this line. Let's put it there. So that means I know my axles. We'll head off to that. And any other lines that should be going off to that vanishing point, I'll be able to see where they go. I'll call this my perspective guide. And on a new layer, I'll start putting in some shapes for the car. See where we go. Probably need a bit of moving around, but like I say, it's one of the trickier cars. This isn't about making a beautiful drawing at this stage. It's about just figuring out where stuff has to go. So all these marks are sort of placeholders, as to sort of tentatively saying, well, maybe something goes there. But you don't want to press hard or spend too long on each part, because you're probably going to end up changing it. I probably ought to measure the height of the car. So if I measure the height of a wheel, the height of this wheel is about the same as the height from the bottom of the car to the top of the window. So at this stage, I've kind of got the basic car down and it sort of feels all right. There's a few bits that are worrying me. I'm not sure about this. Cockpit feels maybe a bit too far forward. So maybe I need to erase a bit off there. And what I'm going to do is just flip the image, because that often reveals problems. I'm just doing a bit more fiddling around, putting a bit more detail in the wheels. That'll do. I think I'm going to do the car in motion, so I might just try squishing this down a bit. So before I make it nice and tidy, or try to, just having one final look over everything, see if there's anything that jumps out. I think the nose here is a bit sharp. That back wheel is still a bit high. One more flip just to see if anything else jumps out. It still feels a bit small down there, doesn't it? Maybe I need to enlarge this front end. That looks like an E-Type. So now I can take the opacity of this layer down and start working with the vector brush, which is a nice sort of ink style brush. And so I'll work my way around the picture, just tidying things up, trying to make it nicely inked in. So here's how it looks at the moment. I've been sort of working my way around the picture with the ink pen, just kind of blocking stuff in. I quite like being loose with it. I like energetic kind of ink drawings rather than really super clean ones. Especially as this is going to be, I'm going to add some motion, so it's going to be all a bit, it'll add to the kind of hectic nature. That's the plan. So the nice thing with working on the iPad with black and white is that I can erase into the black areas and put some extra little details or just tidy up some of the messy bits. So it's quite nice to have gaps in your lines rather than making them continuous. Just helps kind of give the impression that these are shiny parts of the car. And I think I'll call that done. I might have a look at it again tomorrow and tidy it up a bit. But yeah, I hope you found it interesting. It's quite hard to draw and film at the same time, but hopefully I'll get better at that in the future. So until the next one, have a great week. I'll see you again soon.